Well, hello and welcome to the Well Lived Life podcast. And my guest today is Shavita Kotak. And she and I have had several conversations over Instagram Lives.
Mhm.
And we were connected together through our beloved friend, Dr. Gladys McGarry. And Shavita has her own story about connecting with Gladys, which I do want to talk about. Um, but as the title of her book, The Well Lived Life, my thought about doing this podcast was to just continue her voice, her legacy. She always talks about if her legacy isn't carried on, then like not what's the point, but that's what she really wanted to see. And given the fact that she passed at 103 and three quarters and only found her voice, so she says, at 93, my thought was, well, let's carry this forward. And while I still do the Instagram live, I think having a podcast platform is a little bit more substantial and potentially could reach more people. And so, of course, I thought of you because I just have so dearly loved our conversations. So,
Oh,
welcome, welcome. And
thank
I would
you.
love it if you would just, tell everybody about who you are and, yeah, start with that.
So,
Like,
as
what's your
you men-
story coming forward and
oh, let
writing
me,
your book?
let me show you how I connected with Dr. Gladys.
Yes.
Yeah, because I was going through this phase in my life where I hit perimenopause, about 10, 13 years ago. And I was looking for women that inspire me because in the narrative that we're given, it's a lot of the narrative around menopause is doom and gloom. And I heard Dr. Christiane Northrup talk about her good friend, Dr. Gladys McGarry, who's coming up to 100, writing books and active on social media. And I thought, who is this woman? Because if she's living a vibrant life approaching 100, I want to follow her. I
Yeah.
want to live. She was an example of a person living the well-lived life.
Right.
Yeah. And I thought that's who I want to follow because the narrative around menopause, perimenopause was doom and gloom. You're going to disappear in the background and your life's over because you're not going to create children anymore. And I thought that doesn't feel right with me. It doesn't feel like my life is over. I know things are going and shifting in my body and how I'm moving through the world, but I wanted to learn from people that are living examples of a well-lived life. And I think Dr. Gladys McGarry was the example of that as a woman.
For sure. And
Yeah.
so were you struggling in in your perimenopausal journey? Were you having a lot of symptoms? Were you just really, what led you to really be searching?
See, I think when I was in my 20s and 30s, you go along with life, you hustle, you chase, you perform, you do all the things, you put yourself last, you say yes to the world and no to yourself. And it works. But suddenly something happens. It happened in my mid 40s where that lifestyle, how I was moving through the world, was not agreeing with me any longer.
Mm.
And anxiety started building up in me. So,
Hmm.
what I used to do effortlessly, suddenly I'm feeling anxious about doing those chores, looking after the kids, working, business, house, cooking, cleaning, all the rest of it.
Right.
And the anxiety started building up and resentment as well because I was saying yes to everybody else. And all of a sudden, my body is saying, you cannot function and move through the world like you used to. You
Hmm.
have to have a renegotiation with yourself and the people around you. And that in between stage is the icky stage
Right.
where the old life doesn't make sense, but the new life hasn't come yet. And you
Right.
really are in the confusion of it.
Right.
And I think menopause is a gift, really, because it's knocking on our doors with experiences like hot flushes, aches and pains, sleepless nights. to help us listen to the whispers of our body, and it stops whispering like it did when we were in our 20s and 30s, and it starts to tap you on your shoulder or slap you down with a nice big fat hot flush.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
So
And
that's what happened.
and so during that process and you looking for help and guidance and inspiration, you decided to write a book.
Yeah, but that book happened after 10 years of research.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that was 45, and the book didn't start until I was about 54 because I was coming to the other end of it. And I
Got
had an
it.
awareness that at the time when the perimenopause started, it felt like it could be doom and gloom. Maybe it is because I'm feeling all these anxiety, stress, resentment. My life didn't make sense. I just wanted to run away from my family because they were all asking for too much and I wanted to
Right.
say no and I didn't know how to say no.
Right.
So I had to relearn who I am in the world and how I show up. And that process takes courage and it takes facing things inside yourself, belief
Mm-hmm.
systems. And when I asked women, so take I'm 45 and I'm asking women that are 55 and I'm asking them, can you share with me your perimenopause journey? How is it? And they'd put their heads down in shame and say, whisper to me, we don't talk about that, it's awful. And I'm thinking, no, it can't be. It can't be. Can somebody tell me it's vibrant? Can somebody tell me another
Right.
story? Until I found Dr. Christiane Northrup, Dr. Gladys, and all the other women in my book.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day, you know, those sleepless nights when you get up at 3 o'clock in the morning,
Yes.
I had a thing. I'm going to write a book and I'm going to write a book about menopause. And I had no idea of what and how. And it just happened.
Wow.
So I trusted my intuition. I did the emails to the ladies that inspired me on my journey that I learned so much from.
Mm-hmm.
And one by one, each woman said yes
Amazing.
because
And
I trusted my intuition and I had the courage to follow that intuition.
there's such huge learning in that. Like just you allowing yourself to listen and to hear the message and then to go forward, just to, yeah, I mean, it's just so beautiful that you
You
were
know,
willing to. The image I get is like you're sinking back into a chair and you're like, okay, let's go. Let's take this ride. Let's see where it's going to take me.
so it's like the universe comes knocking on your shoulder, right? And it's knocked your whole life, but we don't listen. And this one, I said to myself, I'm going to listen to this knock on my shoulder. And the universe hijacks you for a while because you've got something to share. And if you listen and you continue with it, it'll help you and it'll guide you on your journey.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
felt completely guided in this journey.
So great. It's so
Yeah.
great. And so prior to all of this, you
Mm.
were working, you were a lawyer,
I
right?
was a financial planner.
Oh, financial planner.
So
Okay.
I was working, I grew up in the 70s, yeah? In the hustle culture, in the multitask culture. You do this, you do that, you do lots of things. And the way you prove your worth in this world is by being this superwoman at the
Right.
expense of yourself.
Right. Well, because
And
that's what we were shown. Like my
that's what we were
mother,
shown.
her mother,
Yeah,
like that's what it was.
that's what it was. But I had to let go of that belief
Mm,
system. And I had to say, I cannot do this anymore. If I want to live a well-lived life, things have to change. And difficult conversations have to be had with my family. And it's usually the people that are convenient because of your sacrifice, self-sacrifice of saying yes to them and no to yourself. I hope that
right.
makes sense. Yeah, because it was convenient for me to serve my children, my husband. Yes, I'm at here at your beck and call. And all of a sudden, when I was writing the book, I said, excuse me, family, I need a meeting. I'm writing this book and things are going to change. I am not going to be available like I used to be now. How are you going to help me? Because nothing is going to stop me writing this book.
And how did that go?
We had to have a couple of conversations around the dining table.
Okay.
At first, my kids go, "Why are you doing this? No one's asking you to do this. Why are you putting yourself through this pain?" Because when you're writing a book, you go through all these emotions. Because when I'm writing these stories, the women's stories, some of them hit things in me that I almost forgot or
Right.
woke up
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
in me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And yeah, do you want me to share one of the things that
Yeah.
woke up in me?
Yes.
This is quite personal, but I'm going to share it.
Yeah.
So, Jane Hardricks Collins spoke about the hospital system safety masqueraded, I mean, abuse masqueraded as safety in the
Okay.
hospital system when women are giving birth. They're told to not trust their bodies and lots of interventions happen. Yeah.
Right. Right.
And I thought, what does she mean by that? So I Googled it, and she goes, being induced, being cut, telling you that all this intervention needs to happen with the baby because you're not trusting your body. And that happened to me. And I almost put it aside, like I didn't want to deal with it.
Mm.
And when I was writing her chapter, it brought all those emotions up. And I realized I was made to believe not to trust my body, and they cut me. The baby was 2.3 kilos. I could have birthed her myself.
Mm-hmm.
But the obstetrician I believe she wanted to go home because it was Christmas time.
Yeah.
And that cut will never heal.
Ah.
And then the second baby, I had a natural baby and it was so effortless.
Wow.
So, and I was traumatized by the experience. And I didn't know it because I had a baby to look after. So you just carry on, yeah?
Right. And you just do what you have to do.
Yeah, and then I didn't realize, oh my gosh. And I did hear a whisper with the second baby when the midwife said to me, "I think you were a bit hard done by being cut the first time round because you had such a small baby." And that comment
Oh.
went into my head, but it bypassed because now I've got two young children, so I haven't
Right.
got
Right.
time to address these things until I wrote the book. And that day, I remember feeling such rage and this
Mm.
right anger came in, and it's like, no, I'm going to write this down in my book and share this story from my experience.
Right. Right.
I'm not saying that sometimes intervention is required, yeah?
Yeah.
But a lot of times, if we're just told to trust our bodies and allow us to have that space, maybe things could have been differently.
Absolutely. Gladys, I was just listening to a past interview that she had done, and she was talking about when she first went to medical school, they were taught exactly that babies were born with the mother in twilight. So the mothers had zero ability to push or feel contractions or anything. And so she was taught how to use forceps really well. And she said, I was really good at it, but it was only until much later in her life when she decided to not only have her own last two children at home, but she also then started doing natural birthing for mothers, and she felt horrible. But she had to release that from herself because she didn't know any better. That was how she was taught.
Yes. And when you don't know better, you go along blindly believing everything.
Right.
And then when I wrote the book, I spoke to a midwife, Ibu Robin Lim. Oh, and then she brought up the thing because she believes in delayed cord cutting.
Uh-huh.
So she says, this is another thing that I discovered. She says the placenta's still pulsing. It's got the vital final stem cells to go into the baby. And when that cord is cut too soon, the baby is denied the final stem cells, which is required for your immune system and your connection to your pineal gland,
Wow.
your intuition. Now, if the cord, which happens in most systems in the hospital system,
Right.
is cut too soon, we are born as babies with our nervous system under attack from the moment we're born
Right.
because we don't feel safe because the cord's been cut too soon. We come out in bright lights and noise when we've just been in this warm, beautiful bath of your mother
Right.
and to sterile lights and tools and noise and cutting the cord too soon. Of course, we're going to be crazy when we come out and not
Right. And
relaxed with our nervous system.
right. Right.
So each
Wow.
woman showed me a different thing, and I thought, oh my gosh. And coming to terms with all that, I had to deal with my children that the cord was cut too soon. Why didn't I know this before? Da da da. But you forgive and you move on. You just did what you did from the information you had at the
Right.
time.
Right. Right.
So now I know better. So I share this with people so people can make their own choices with the information I've gathered, and I just share it.
Which is so great. And so, I have noticed that since your book came out, you are on fire on Instagram. Like you are posting all the time and you're posting such great information. And so, how does that feel for you to be?
Do you know it's been a journey, Katie? I am the type of woman, I came from a very patriarchic culture, the Indian culture, where women are seen, not heard.
Mm,
But I never opened my throat. And one thing I learned from Dr. Gladys, she found her voice at 93. And when I heard that, I said, I am not going to wait till I'm 93 to find my
right,
voice.
right,
And it's taken me everything in my being, yeah, confronting my fears of judgment. What will people think? Am I saying the right thing? Am I worthy? All this stuff I had to deal with to show up. And now I'm just shouting it out loud, and whoever wants to listen can listen. And if it doesn't resonate, that's fine by me. I'm not here to convert anyone. I'm
right.
just here to share what I've learned on my journey. And people are resonating with it, and I'm so grateful. But I will continue to share because now I'm postmenopausal. Nothing's going to stop my voice coming out from
It's,
love.
yeah, it's so good. It's so good. And so, back to the original question of what does it mean to you to live a well-lived life? I mean, it's a big question because
You see,
there's,
I look at how like this year I lost my dad in January, right?
oh,
And then I went back to England because I live in Australia, my parents in England. Then I went back to England and I saw my mum in palliative care in that transition. And she said to me, she goes, you come into this world with nothing. You leave this world with nothing. And in between, you're chasing everything outside of yourself. When really it's all within you.
right.
Yeah. And I think from that experience, I've just changed my perspective on life now. Like nothing outside of me is going to give me peace and happiness or worthiness or whatever.
Right.
It happens when I find it within myself, and then the external doesn't even matter. And when I look at Dr. Gladys's life, she inspires me to keep going. And I feel as if I'm just beginning my life.
Amazing.
I really feel I'm finally have given myself permission and have had gone through the fire of perimenopause to come out to finally have the permission to be who I was always meant to be. And I just take a big exhale with that and think, thank God that happened. Thank you, menopause.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And and in that I'm guessing now your family has sort of rallied around you long enough that they have seen you come through, the writing of the book and so how is your relationship with your children and your husband now?
Oh, they still every now and again when it gets inconvenient for them. Oh, Mama, no one's asking you to do. And I said, because learning and growing takes energy and effort and it's uncomfortable. So they see that part when I'm feeling like uncomfortable. Oh, I don't know how to use the technology. How do I this work? It's all too much. I could easily give up, but I choose
Right.
not to. You
Right.
know how is learning new technology. I don't come from that era of
Me neither.
technology
Yeah,
and
me
social
neither.
media going on live. Have I pressed the right button?
Right. Well, and even with this podcast, like,
Yeah,
God willing, it's I will do the right thing when we're finished and
yeah.
upload it in such a way that it will make its way to the podcast land.
Yeah, and
So that, you
that's a
know,
whole new another language I'm learning, and
yeah.
that's okay too. And I'm enjoying the learning, and I'm enjoying the challenges it brings because it gives me an opportunity to grow. And in this journey, I've had to let go of people along the way
Mm-hmm.
because what happens is, my old circle are still my old circle, but I'm changing and shifting. So
Yeah.
that's changing too, and how I move through the world. I don't need to go out much. I like solitude. I like to connect with myself and I like to feel, does this feel right? Am I on the right path? Do I want to do this or do I not? Where am I making this decision from? From fear, from worthiness to hustle culture, or I'm bringing it back down to the present moment?
And are you do you have anybody that a coach, a therapist, a guru, anybody that you are working with to
I work
help
with
you through
myself
this
now.
process?
I tap into myself now.
Yeah, great.
I tap into myself and I actually like we're in this portal at the moment. I don't know whether you felt this energetically, like the
Oh, the
blood
eclipse.
moon.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
eclipse portal.
it's just going crazy.
Yeah,
I am like feeling everything coming up. You
yeah,
know, my anxiety, and then I'm watching it and observing it, and then I'm thinking, why am I feeling this way? This is a pattern of behavior that I'm comfortable with. So I've got to choose a different pattern now. Because anxiety, stress, hustle is comfortable because it's known to us.
right.
Yeah.
It's
And
what
to,
your nervous system saw
yeah,
as safety and
yeah.
normal.
So
Yeah.
that is my no default. And I am renegotiating and relearning and letting go of that and moving into a flow frequency. And to do able to do that, I have to put a light on
Mm-hmm.
my shadows. And
Mm-hmm.
in this portal, the shadows are being illuminated. And
Yes,
that's a
they
good
are.
thing. And that is a good thing because I want to see the shadows and then I want to face the shadows, observe them, and ask, where has this come from? Is it learnt behavior from my ancestors, or am I doing this out of fear or trust?
Right. Right. Yeah, I recently had a friend of mine pass away 2 months ago, and she went from it was 9 weeks from her diagnosis to when she passed.
Hmm.
And it was such an honor and really felt like a privilege to be by her side that entire time because she
Wow.
chose really consciously that she was walking that road to home,
Yeah,
with the capital H. We were, joking about that with the capital H home. And she was doing all of the things to make amends and own whatever she still needed to own and see ways in which she had moved through the world her whole life so that she could wrap things up as best as she could before
yeah,
she passed.
yeah,
And as I watched her, in those final stages, like you were saying, your mother was saying that, you die alone. Like, yes, you can have people around you, but
mm,
you are, you're, I don't even know if collapsing is the right word, but you are collapsing into yourself in the deepest way to then be
expanding.
liberated
Yeah,
in back into light.
yeah,
And wow, what a profound thing to watch. So in within this portal time, so we're recording this on September 16th, so right in the middle of the full moon lunar eclipse, and we
Yeah.
have the new moon solar eclipse this Sunday.
Yeah.
Um, she in her passing and in her preparing for death created a Google Doc for her celebration of life that she had me as the leader, the head person of this ceremony. And
Hmm.
so I really had to step up and I had to help facilitate this whole thing and I had to speak and, the whole thing. So it was another opportunity for me to speak. And again, just say what I need to say.
Do you know, Katie, Dr. Katie, did you find that
Katie is
watching
fine.
that, Katie, in that experience, did you find it actually is a gift for you watching because it
Oh,
makes
absolutely.
like I did that with my dad and my mom and stuff. It was like I've been gifted this experience to see the end of life so I can live a better planet life
Absolutely.
with more awareness. Did you find that it changes your perspective?
It absolutely does. And it also helps you to see. And then, granted, it's easy to fall into, the day-to-day life. And then we take it all for granted,
Yeah,
like most of us do. But it does give you a different perspective on the preciousness of life and time. And there is no time. I mean, time is irrelevant. Time is all, not linear. But
yeah.
also, the time is now. There's no
Yes.
time to wait. What are you
Yes.
waiting for? The time is now. We
Uh-huh.
don't know. We could die tomorrow.
Exactly.
So, like, don't hesitate. So when you get those nudges, when you get, those anything, the whispers, just trust. Like, do a trust fall. Fall that trust in the universe, trust in creator, whoever that, whatever that is for, you, God, creator, Buddha, Jesus,
Yeah.
whoever. Just trust in that
Yes.
there is something greater than ourselves, for sure.
Absolutely. And I think because we live in such a busy world, we need to create time for that space.
Right.
And I
Which,
think,
go
yeah,
ahead.
go.
No,
Yeah.
I'm just, you're talking about creating the time, and it's so interesting that, in the patriarchal world that we are in, taking the time isn't valued. It's getting better for sure.
Yeah.
It's changing because we have so many women that are waking up to this idea that rest and connection are absolutely what we need to do in order to move forward.
But the patriarchy wanted us in hustle mode, so we never connected
Absolutely.
ourselves. And I think we're shifting because in 2030, there's going to be 1.2 billion women in menopause. So that's 1.2 billion women that have the
Wow.
opportunity to
Wow.
remember who they are. And that's why I feel so compelled to speak about this, because it's important.
It's so great. I mean, it's so great what you are putting out there. I just
And
absolutely love it.
And it's through experience. It's not, these are messages I either got in download or I've experienced it myself in my
Hmm.
body.
Hmm.
I can't just say this stuff. I feel like I have to live it before I need to say it, before I share it. And I
And
think, yeah, go.
so with that, are you leading women? So I know you're super active on Instagram, but on the ground in your town, what are you leading women? Are you leading groups? What are you doing?
At the moment, I'm building my community on Instagram.
Great.
And eventually I'm going to, because all this stuff takes time to put in place,
Of
technology.
course. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm actually gonna be organizing a sacred circle online where we come together
Great.
on the full moon and it's recorded if you can't make it at a time. But on a monthly basis, we create space for that remembrance and we tap
Love
into the
it.
frequency of the moon. And it's going to be such a cheap membership so everybody can access it. You know, I want to get women together around the frequency of the full moon so we can start elevating ourselves and
Mhm.
rippling out through our communities and therefore rippling out to the world itself. Because I believe we are the midwives of the new earth.
Love that.
There is no coincidence 1.2 billion women will be in perimenopause or menopause by 2030, along with the Great Reset at the same time. There is no coincidences.
Wait, what great reset.
You know, the Great Reset, they want everything digitally
Oh,
organized, the
okay.
Great Reset. So I think the real Great Reset is in us postmenopausal women changing frequencies within ourselves
Absolutely.
into the community and into the world because the patriarchy has created this world, the old world. We're letting go of that. We're in the birth canal of the new world. And this part here now is uncomfortable because it's got the contractions.
It certainly is.
And we've got
Holy.
to breathe through it, just like giving birth to a baby. We've got to breathe through it, trust that we're going to be able to birth this new worth together. And I believe women on the planet right now going through perimenopause and menopause are the midwives of the new earth.
Oh, I love that so much. That
That's what I
is,
want to believe, and that's what I'm going with.
and I think that there are probably many, many, many women that are already following you and are very happy to just join in on that. And that,
Can you feel it in your bones? I can
yes.
feel it in my bones where my ancestors couldn't speak because if they spoke, they would have been killed, burnt, or drowned.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah,
I believe the women here right now are the women their ancestors have been waiting for.
absolutely. We're the answer to their prayer.
Yes, and we are here and in love. This is all going to
Yes.
be in love frequency. I believe it's all about love frequency. We're coming out from the physical lower three chakras,
Mm-hmm.
the physical chakras. We're moving into our heart chakra so we can speak with love instead of shouting and screaming. It's done with softness.
Oh, it's beautiful. I love it. I love everything that you're saying. It's so great. Yeah.
I just feel it in my bones, and and if other women are feeling it, and I get messages on Instagram, they're feeling it too. And it's like, well, I'm not the only one. Yes, let's come together.
No, and that's the thing that is so beautiful is you're not the only one, and but you were the one to take the torch and move it forward. Like somebody always has to be the one, right? And and
No,
you
but we're
did.
all the one. We're all the one.
No, I understand that, but you like cracked the shell so that and you're speaking. And sure, there's going to be all kinds of other people that are speaking and coming out and sharing messages that are important and empowering and all of those things, but um I just want, and I know that you do feel like a honored that you or the privilege of following your voice and following your intuition and being so filled with gratitude and
Oh,
love that
I
this
feel,
all has happened to you so that you could expand in such a big, beautiful way.
with that expansion, I have to share, there are contractions in myself. There is my nervous system catching up with my new version of me speaking.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I feel completely in awe of the universe sharing this information with me.
Mm.
And the universe didn't give me these women in my book for no reason.
Right. Right.
They were given to me. I was guided the whole way through this journey. I sat here, as you can see my altar at the back,
Yep.
and that's the chair I sat on. And every time I sat to write, I just surrendered because I struggled in the beginning. I didn't know what I was writing. I'm not a writer. I'm a numbers person. And I just sat there and I said, okay. And then I've got my sound bowls over there when it all gets too much. And I just play the sound bowls and I said, I'm just going to sit here and whatever comes, comes. I'm just going to sit and allow the space.
Mm,
And every day I sat on that chair between 9 and 12 o'clock. I would not move. I'd just sit there.
that's so good.
And I told my husband, everything's stopping. I don't care how this happens. I cannot stop it. It's something inside me says I've got to do this and nothing's going to stop me. So you guys are going to have to support me, whether you like it or not.
That is a woman taking control of her life. And, just, oh, I'm just in awe of you and
Oh, and it
and
was
your
scary.
willingness to be courageous enough to sit in the unknown and feel the contractions and not run away and still sit in the unknown with the faith that something was going to emerge. You were going to sit there long enough for something to come through you, and you did. Whereas, a lot of people would have bought into the other voice that says, "No, who are you? You can't do that." They would have just given up.
Not just that, when you sit with yourself, you're going to hear things that you don't want to hear.
Oh, yes, you are.
You're going to hear things. You're not good enough. Who are you to say this?
Right,
Who's going to judge me? Who's going to look at me? Oh, is this perfect enough?
right.
Have I worked hard enough? Am I worthy? All this stuff came through me, all this stuff. And do I want to share my personal stuff about my childbirth and they cut me? Am I stepping on people's toes? I'm just sharing my experience from my experience on living on this earth. And I don't need to prove anything to anybody anymore.
Ugh.
As long as I show up with the right intentions, with trust and faith.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If I'm in the fear frequency, I have to decline because I'm not in alignment.
Right. Right.
So I just try to, and it's at every moment by moment practice. It's a moment by moment, especially in this portal we're in right now. It's literally moment by moment.
Yeah, I am just so grateful to be having this conversation with you because it's your your energy is palpable, even though we are, half a world apart from each other. And your energy just comes through and your excitement and yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Well, you were part of that journey because, when we first had our first podcast live together, I was so nervous. I
As
was
was I.
I
Yeah,
was so nervous. I didn't even, how I got the timing right, obviously, because our timings are different. Then how do I press the right button? All this stuff. But you just show up. You show up and you're not afraid of
right.
making mistakes.
Well, you are showing up and it's a beautiful thing. My lighting is oh well, it doesn't matter. Um, yeah, you're showing up in such a beautiful, bright way. I'm just so
Thank
grateful.
you. Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah.
We
And
all are. We all are showing up in our own ways.
yes, but
Yeah.
you have to acknowledge the fact that you have taken a strong stance and you are moving forward. You are taking no prisoners. I am doing this, and that is a beautiful thing to witness, and that will gain followers that want to hear your message.
Yeah, and
And
I
I know it's not about gaining followers who want to hear your message.
no.
I know that's not what you're all about. It's more just sharing your message so that we can be the midwives to the new world.
Yes. And also, look. followers makes me realize I'm not alone in feeling this.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was loneliness. There's a lot of loneliness comes in when you're transforming from your old self to your
Absolutely.
new self, yeah? You go through the lonely journey and you go through isolation. And I am actually in my little bubble at the moment
Yeah.
because my my energy, like I feel everything at the moment. So I need to feel I have to protect myself
Mm-hmm.
a little bit because I haven't got enough to give out to the world in the physical world because I'm giving out in social media at the moment.
Right, right, right.
Yeah. So, and it, of course, I have to show up every day and I've got to think, does this message resonate with me today? So, and if it feels right, I share it. And at the moment, I've got lots to share. So that's why I'm doing it.
It's so good. Well, I'm so glad that this worked out in the middle of that portal.
I know. How good
Yeah,
was that? And I'm so thankful that you asked me. And of course I was going to say yes.
of course. One of these days we will be in the same location and we will do some kind of a day-long retreat together or something. It
Oh,
would
we'll
just
do
be
some magic. We'll
so
do.
fun. I
Do
can
you know
leave.
another thing that I got to share? You know what happens in perimenopause, and I think you feel it too because you do creative art, yeah?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
When you're in that creative frequency, you're in the present moment, yeah? And you come back to presence. And I think this is what happens. Our DNA strands, the dormant ones, they get activated in some way
Mm,
through creativity in that flow
mm-hmm,
state.
mm-hmm.
And it energizes you to do more in that creative frequency because that creative frequency, when you're painting, there's no time.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel with what I'm doing right now. Time just goes because I'm in flow. I'm like, oh, let me create that. Oh, let me think of that. And I've got to write them all down because the messages are coming down and I've got to write them down because I might forget.
Wow.
Like you when you're doing your art, explain how you feel when you're in your creative flow.
Yeah, there is no time. And w one of the things I did do, I don't know that I shared with you, is when my friend was diagnosed, and she had done every single art retreat that I led. So
Yeah.
she was definitely, she had a love-hate relationship with it, mostly because it was a pain, like what you're talking about. It's a little bit of a painful process to go through the create contraction before the expansion.
Yeah.
And so when she got this diagnosis, I said, "Do you want to paint your way through this? And we'll do a portal." And she
Oh,
said,
wow.
"Absolutely." And so it all the cancer in her body just moved really quickly. And so the day that we had set aside to do her portal, she did not have the energy to do it. And
Yeah.
so I said, "Well, I'll paint for you."
Oh, that's
And
so lovely.
so I took the day to paint the portal and she renamed it. Oh, do I have, let me see if I can find that what she renamed it. She so it took me, well, I painted all day and I
Mm,
wasn't done. And
mm,
so I painted for 2 more days to finish it.
yeah.
And it was just a really amazing thing to do, to
How beautiful.
just be in that moment of painting, not only for someone. Oh, here's what she titled it, because we
Oh,
were calling it a death portal, and she was like, "No, I don't want it to be that." So this is what she titled it: The Benediction of Becoming. A sacred blessing over my transformation, the death of the false self, no, the death of the false and the rise of my true self, spoken with reverence, beauty, and divine affirmation.
wow.
I know,
Wow.
I know.
What a beautiful thing you shared with the art and the spending that time and laboring her into her death. Like, oh my
Yes,
God.
I know. Somebody asked me if I would be a death doula, and I was like, I don't know that I want to be a death doula, but I'm happy to paint these for people. Like, I don't know what that would look like. I was just going to show
Okay, I
you.
can't wait to come to one of your painting
I
classes. I
know.
want to be there. We'll make it happen.
Yes, we will. Okay,
Yeah.
wait. Can you see this?
Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. That's a heart almost.
Yeah,
That's
there. Can you see that?
beautiful.
Yeah, so
Oh,
that's it. Yeah,
that's stunning.
it was really beautiful. And so we hung it in her room and it just sort of became a beacon for her to, look.
And how nice that you connected with each other. So you felt her energy and you painted it.
Yeah,
That is such a gift.
it was really beautiful. Really,
Oh,
really beautiful. So,
that I almost want to cry with that. That's beautiful.
mm. Well, and that's everything that you're doing, everything that I'm doing is just helping people become their authentic selves, to hear their own voice, to listen to their own bodies, to come back to the breath, to come back to their inner being, their inner home, where
Yeah.
that self resides. And from that place is where we can,
Expansion happens.
yeah, yeah. It's
I
so
know, and I
beautiful.
really believe that through our own love for ourselves, we expand it and share it to our communities and the world. And it's all done through love. And
Yes.
that's Gladys. It was love and life.
Yeah.
And it just drops in every time. I took the book to England when I was going with my mum when she was going into palliative care. And I thought, let me read that one again, just because I just really like it. It was just so,
Mm.
it helped me. It
Yeah.
helped me.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
And
okay.
so,
So,
yes.
um, sadly, I think we need to wrap this conversation up, and you know that we will have many, many more to come.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
but
Thank you
so
so much.
tell me, so can you just hold up your book and
Oh,
where can people buy your book?
okay. Here's my book. I'm going to show you two books.
Great. Okay.
You can buy it on Amazon. And guess what? I'm doing an audiobook.
Oh, great. But say what the name of your book is for those if
Seven Wonders of Menopause. And
the
it features
mother of all wake-up calls.
the mother of all wake-up calls, which is true. We are
Yes.
waking up the new earth and birthing it together.
Yes.
That's what we're doing.
And then how can people find you on Instagram?
It's called Womb Wisdom with Shavita.
Womb Wisdom with
With
Shavita.
Shavita. Because we go
Okay,
back to our wombs and heal ourselves from
great.
the beginning.
And I'm telling you, yeah, everything you're putting out on Instagram is fantastic. So, um,
Thank you. I
it,
really appreciate that coming from you.
yeah, no, I love it. I love it, love it,
Good.
love it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, all right, Shavita, so much love to you. Oh,
Thank you so much.
this is so good. We will stay connected. I know it.
Of course,
I
this is just
mean,
the beginning.
yes, 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 yes. So I'm just honored to know you. I'm
Oh,
privileged to have these conversations. So thank you.
and
Makes me
I
want to
thank Dr.
makes me want to
Gladys.
cry a little bit.
And you know what? I thank Dr. Gladys for bringing us together.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Oh,
she's my role model. Like, I look at her life and I think, okay, I'm going to live like her.
I know. I know. Me too. Me too.
I
All right,
feel that.
my dear.
All
Well,
right, then.
you go and you have a fantastic day since it's first thing in the morning for you. And we'll talk again soon.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here and listening to the Well Lived Life. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.